All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Starting this one off, as you can see behind me, with a 57 Chevy Convertible. This is a car I took on, or I shouldn't say we took on at the shop right when I decided to kind of not film so much. So what I'm going to do is basically start off with how the car started. I'll do a little voiceover, show you guys some pictures, the steps along the way to get it to where it's at right now. And that way you can get caught up, and then we can start off by showing you where I'm at right now, what I'm doing, and then we'll take you along for the finishing process of this car. That way you can see it all the way through to the very end. Beautiful car. It's turning out pretty nice. So we'll get into doing a little voiceover here, show you guys how this thing started, and get you caught up with where we're at, so enjoy. Okay, so unfortunately I lost some pictures of the car, how it looked before we started. But here's a really bad area in the trunk that's common on rusting out, so I went ahead and handmade this section myself. It was just quicker than waiting on the replacement panels. Had some scrap stuff laying around, so I made that, welded it in, and all smoothed out. And there's the finished product. Turned out pretty good. And here's the car when we got it in slick sand for the first time. That would have been the first coat. So it turned out pretty good. This car was a pretty solid car. And there it was with the first block down in 80 grit. And here it is in CP440, which is a polyester primer. So that'd be the first coat after the 80 grit. And the hood was already super nice. So it didn't require hardly any body work whatsoever. And there it is in the blocking stage with 180 grit, I believe. And we're going to jump over to the firewall. Got it sprayed in color, as well as the trunk. I did the door jambs as well, but I didn't have any pictures of those left over. And there's the dash in color and clear. So that turned out pretty well. We were pretty stoked on that. And then we'll jump and fast forward to the whole car getting clear coated. I wish I would have had more of the process that we did on this car, but unfortunately I didn't really get a whole lot done with it. So that would have been right out of the gun before we touched it with any form of wet sand or buff. And here's the car after we got it cut and buffed with trim installed. And we just wanted to roll it outside to see how it looked for the first time. You know, it's always that good feeling after a fresh paint job getting to see it outside for the first time, because Jason killed it laying it down, because that's a pretty hard color to lay down even and get to look how you want it to look. So turned out fantastic, especially getting to see it outside for the first time. All right, guys, we're starting out today on this 57 Convertible, which in the previous clip I just went over, going over why I didn't film on this thing. So we're getting the heater core assembly all put back in it. So we got brand new powder coated cover, brand new heater core and freshly painted bracket. And I already got this, I just got the seal laid over and installed. So we'll go ahead and get a time lapse going here and get this thing installed. As you can see in the last clip there, or the time lapse, you can see those hold down bars for the heater unit itself fought me pretty good. Had to lower her down the lift to get a little more leverage for the passenger side one. And then I actually had to jump up in the engine bay itself, as you could very well see, and get the other one knocked in. But she's in, held down properly with the gasket, new heater core. So we're ready to go. All right, now that heater deal's in, figured I'd go over what I've done since I haven't filmed anything previous on getting this thing together. I just have as you can see, the distributor's not fully seated. I just have it in there to check the clearance with the coil and obviously the distributor to the firewall. So we got plenty of room back there. I got the alternator bracket on. Both heater core fittings are in as well, so we can run line for that. And then I got this over here to protect any brake fluid from getting on it. Got a new master cylinder and proportioning valve. So I just got to clean these old lines up. I got to redo the fitting here and get these tweaked over, get those bolted in the proportioning valve. And then got the aluminum radiator in it. And yes, this is a 6-cylinder core support, as you can see, because the radiator is sitting on that side instead of on the inside like it's supposed to, which is why you see the upper coolant hose is too short. So we're going to get us some hoses here soon so we can get that issue taken care of and then go from there. So I went ahead and got the blower motor in and put up as well. We don't have the connecting piece yet, so we're waiting to see if we got that in our parts stash. And I went ahead and got the heater hoses all finished, so just waiting for the tie downs so we can clean those up as well. And we went and I found a upper radiator hose. Probably going to shorten this thing up a little bit so it doesn't stick up in the middle. But since he's running the 6-cylinder core support and it puts the radiator on the opposite side, we had to find this one that would work instead of the factory V8 hoses. And then we got a 6-cylinder hose coming for the lower tomorrow because they're a little bit longer. So I should be able to make that work to get these all connected up. And that's pretty much where we're at there. And I also went ahead and got the brakes all hooked up as well. Got this side capped off because it's a dual style master cylinder where you can run them out of either side. So I trimmed the lines and got these reflared this, put a new fitting on it. And I know they don't look the nicest, but unfortunately the budget doesn't allow us to redo new lines, so I had to use what was there. But it doesn't look too bad, so that should be good, and we should be ready to adjust the push rod as well. And then tomorrow, first thing, we'll be getting the dipstick. Where's it at? Had it somewhere. I don't remember where I put it, but anyway, we're gonna get the transmission dipstick put in. So I wanted to make sure I had all this done so that way we know what's gonna be in the way or what isn't going to be in the way. All right, left off showing you guys, I finished up those brake lines for the proportioning valve and whatnot. So I got over and got the trans dipstick put in. Ended up using the mount and use the through bolt on the back of the bell housing of the trans just because of, as you can tell, everything that's in the way, and these high-rise valve covers wouldn't allow for it to run up through there. So this was our only option. Ended up working out pretty good. And then got a lower radiator hose that fit perfectly with having this radiator positioned where it is. So that worked out. And then this top one I'm going to shorten just a little bit so it doesn't kick up like that. And then we should be good to go. And the engine bay is coming together pretty quickly, so we should be able to set the distributor here before too long and get some stuff wired up and get this thing fired up. All right, guys, sorry I didn't get to show as much as I wanted working on this thing, but kind of filmed at the last second, finishing some of this stuff up. But I'll be sure to keep filming on this. That way we can have some more in-depth video on finishing it up and seeing it done as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.